You finally hit the number that everyone wants to hit. Number 18. You are an official adult under the legal eyes. Look, I might have some controversy about, being 18 and be considered an adult since, you kind of can't drink, but you can enlist into the army and stuff. That's a whole nother thing though. In this video, I'm gonna tell you about 6 things that you probably should not do the second you turn 18. And trust me, you're gonna wanna stay to the end because the end is probably the most important, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's get to the video.
You and I go separate ways, cause lately I don't feel the way that I used to, that I used to, that I used to, that I used to.
Look, I am really guilty of doing this. Clubbing is really fun to do, especially if you tend to go to parties a lot and you're like a party man, or I don't know what they call it, to be honest, nowadays. But partying, look, it's fun to do, don't get me wrong, but doing it every single time you get the opportunity to go out to a club, it's just not good. You might be 18 and eligible to go to parties, but especially for women out there, and especially if you don't know anything about parties, it's not always the smartest thing to do, especially if you don't have the street smarts too. I used to go to clubs almost weekly, and it wasn't really the best and smartest thing. And I will tell you, there's a lot of things that you need to know before you start going clubbing. Like for one, if you don't know what spiking a drink means, then you probably shouldn't be going to a club. Like looking at other people the wrong way, maybe staring at them, you shouldn't go if you don't know not to do that. Or maybe snitching or anything like that. I mean, that's well known for everybody to not snitch in a club. But I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying, if you don't know these things, then you probably shouldn't be going to a club. And even if you did know these things specifically and prior to what I was saying, then you still shouldn't be going to a club maybe weekly or anything like that, even bi-weekly. I'd say maybe once a month. I mean, I'm not saying do not stray away from the club, but I'm just saying go in moderation, especially just go whenever you feel like, you know what, let's just go to the club. Come on guys, let's all go to the club and have fun. Now, obviously, most people who do go to clubs tend to drink and do a lot of illegal stuff and fights too, I guess. So if you are ready for that kind of stuff when you turn 18, then I would just tell you to make sure you don't get involved and you go to jail either. Look, I get it. Maybe you're one of those gangsters or someone who has street credit or whatever your case might be. Especially in your younger years. Yeah, you went to juvie and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, well, you're 18 now. You're gonna go to prison or a worse jail. It doesn't matter. You don't wanna go there, so stay away from there. You don't want that reflecting on your record and anything like that. Especially if you're going clubbing, which people tend to get a lot of DUIs because they've been clubbing. That will be on your record for the rest of your life. Imagine going to an interview that you've been wanting to go to for your whole life, sitting down with them, and then they do a background check on you and see you have a DUI. Lord forbid you have more than one DUI. Your opportunity of going to 80% of getting the job is now maybe 50 to 40. So basically the odds are not in your favor. Bottom line, I'm pretty sure this is pretty self-explanatory, but do not go to jail and stay away from jail as far as you can. Make sure you're more focused on life, if anything. This right here is a personal choice. If you've already decided prior, maybe a couple years ago, you want to enlist into the army, enlist into the military or whatever, go ahead. But what I'm saying is, it's because you have the opportunity now to go, do not immediately enlist into it. Give yourself at least a little bit of time, no matter what people tell you. The military is always going to be around. I never went to the military or anything, so I can't tell you too much about what it's like or anything like that. It could be a good option and opportunity for you. Don't get me wrong. If you do decide to join, give it a little bit of time and a little bit of thought. Have that common courtesy or thought behind your mind. Should I do this automatically as soon as I turn 18? Regardless of what everyone is telling me, whoever told me, a recruiter or anybody, think about it for your own self. This is your life, so if you want to do it, go ahead. You already decided. But if you have second thoughts, maybe something that's stopping you, give that a little bit more thought, okay? Regardless, do what you want and what you please. And if you do join the service, thank you for your service. You are 18 now. You have the ability to do whatever you want. You can apply for a credit card, you can apply for a loan, you can do pretty much almost anything you want. At least until you're 21, that's when you really can. But just because you can make big decisions doesn't mean you should always make big decisions. Big decisions come with a big responsibility. So if you're ready for that big responsibility, be ready for that big decision. It could be anything of a big decision. Rather you want to spank it, rather you want to spank somebody, or anything like that. Yeah, that's a little gross, but yeah, anything like that. Or it could just be anything to do with, I don't know, getting married or going to college or anything. Don't always make a huge decision automatically. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should always do it. If you are going to make a big decision, I would suggest consult with other people who are experienced. Those people will give you better insight on what to expect or what to know. So if you're going to make a big decision, I highly advise educate yourself with the people who have already been in it, or maybe know something about it, or maybe are just have more wisdom than you. I will always suggest that more than anything. Don't ever make a huge decision on your own because it's not always wise. It's okay to make a huge decision with something you probably can't talk about. That's fine, that's one thing. But making a huge decision is not always the smartest thing to do. Depending if you're living in someone's house, this can differ from person to person. But in a general sense, do not stay out late. It's not the best thing to do. You've probably already been doing it since you were a teen and all that stuff, which I have too. And I've been staying out late as hell. But under the legal sense, you're allowed to stay out as late as you want. And you're allowed to drive as late as you want. Now, is this smart to do? Not all the time. Maybe never really, if you're just doing it at your own leisure. Your body needs a thing called a circadian rhythm. If you don't have a great circadian rhythm, then your memory can be mushed. None of it's good. And I'm telling you, if you do it, it's gonna mess that crap up. Especially if it's for a dumb reason, like playing video games or something, which video games are fun, don't get me wrong, but if you're staying up late doing that, or maybe just on your phone, it's not always the smartest thing to do. If you're gonna stay up late, at least let it be till 12 and then cut it off. 1 to 3 o'clock a.m. is not ever smart to do. And if you're gonna do it, at least do it once a month to maybe twice a month. Don't do it too much. Because once you mess up that sleep cycle, you're gonna have a hard time getting right back on your sleep cycle. Especially after you turn 18 or maybe older than 18. It's way harder to get back on your natural sleep cycle then. So yeah, I got a funny story about this one. So I was a senior in high school and I got this opportunity to go on a cruise ship, which was at the beginning of the school year, and I had an AP class. So in other words, it wasn't really the smartest thing that I'd done. Regardless of that, I had the opportunity to do pretty much everything. I had the opportunity to drink alcohol outside of the US, of course. I didn't do it in the US. Don't get me in trouble with that one. And not to mention, I was also able to gamble because on cruise ships, all you gotta do is be over 18 to gamble. I don't know if you're familiar with that slot machine, but that was the one I went crazy for every time. I had about like maybe $200 that I had for the cruise ship. Some of that was for the booze, I'm not gonna lie, and some of that was for my leisure, and the rest was just for discretionaries and whatever else, to be honest. But long story short, I done spent half, if not more than half, of my money that I had all on gambling. Because this one guy that we were friends with on a cruise ship had ended up winning pretty big and got like, I think $60 to $100, and he only put in like $20. So I had the motivation to do it myself. Well, long story short, I done lost $120 out of my $200. Gambling isn't even good to really get into at all because there's a thing called a gambling addiction, and that is very much real. When you gamble and you have like $10, right? You're gonna put $10 into it. You win pretty big. Now you have this urge or proclivity to bid a little higher, just so you can feel like if you could win more. Let's say you do win again. Now you want to bid super high because you feel like you're gonna get this crap right this time, and then you lose it all. Just because you probably lost it all and then learned your lesson does not mean you're done. It just gives you way more motivation to try again. And that's how it starts. So that's the dangers of gambling, but why I say you shouldn't do it, which probably should have been self-explanatory after I told you that, it sets you up for disaster, and it's not always the smartest thing to even do. If you're gonna gamble in some type of way, which people call it gambling, and I don't feel like it is, I would invest into stocks. If you ever feel like you have this tendency to gamble, go ahead if you want to, but have full control over your urges to go again. You should also go ahead and like and subscribe, because I love y'all, and I feel like this is probably going to go somewhere because I do continue to do this like 2 weeks prior or so, and I overall just like doing this like I used to. And like I said earlier in my past video, I know y'all want to get to the ending and all that other stuff, which I don't think there's a lot of bloopers because I didn't really do too bad. But I'll let y'all get to it because I want to make this video short. So, I love y'all. I'll see y'all later, and I will see y'all later. So, I'm going to tell you Anyways, I'm gonna tell you 6 things that you probably shouldn't do. Speaking of which, you don't even want to go to jail. Oh, let me cut that out actually. Well, I guess it's just a messed up cut then. You're gonna go to for your whole life, sitting down with the person, and then they pick good. Along with going to the military, with that being a big decision, it's always best to just not, cut that all out. All your cognitive abilities to go about life, which I don't even think I said that right. And honestly, I probably didn't, so I might as well just re-say it. Might as well just redo the whole thing, actually. You to get higher. Your mind will continue to want that dopamine. Nope. Go ahead if you want to, but have full